Racing Free is dedicated to acknowledging and rewarding the great people in racing who are racing free. In an effort to eliminate the use of performance-enhancing drugs, Racing Free offers incentives for all industry participants. Visit racingfree.com.
Welcome back to the quarter racing update here at Remington Park. I'm Dale Day, joined now by jockey Ricky Ramirez with us on our feature segment this week. And Ricky's having a very good season so far, coming into the weekend, approaching the 20 win mark. Ricky talked about the season to this point. Is it where you wanted to be? Less, more, about right? For your expectations here, just past the halfway point.
Right now it's where I want to be. Kind of business picked up, and I've been winning races. It started out a little bit slow, but that's just business. And right now everything's going pretty good.
Now you ride first call for trainer Trey Wood here at Remington Park. Talk about that relationship. When did you first start riding for Trey Wood and the Wood family, and how that's gone for you here the last few years?
Well, I got to know him in 2007. I rode a little bit, I had second call. The beginning of 2008, got first call on the whole barn. So ever since then, we've been good friends. Me and Trey Wood, we're buddies. I mean, we are good friends. So everything, just we need to change what we got to do, and so far we've been successful at it, and hopefully continue to be successful. Now
Trey brought a lot of stock with him here, a lot of horses to race at Remington Park this season. Seemed like the season started a little bit slow, but that barn, especially for you, has been very hot the last few weeks.
Yeah, it started a little slow. After Lone Star in the fall, we turned them out, let them get a rest, freshen up. And when we got back up here, the horses were, they were rested up, so we kind of had them getting fit again, and I guess they're fit now, and now they're starting to perform.
Okay, now I'm going to throw the curveball at you. We ride in the Sooner State Stakes on Saturday night with Joker on Jack, a horse you've not been on, but the horse has a little talent. Won the Hialeah Futurity in his last start of 2012, but this is his first start of this season, facing Oklahoma breds, but there's some stout runners in here.
Yeah, the horse, I got on him the other day in the morning. Alfredo Gomez hauled him in, and I got on him, and I liked the horse, and he gave me the opportunity to ride him. He's coming off a big layoff, so it'll be his first race, going 400 yards, I believe, and hopefully he can hold the distance and, win the race. I like his post position being on the outside, so I ain't got to worry about nobody, running me over or whatever, so I think he'll have a shot.
I was going to ask you about being on the outside number 10, even though he's off the layoff. That's a preferred spot for just a stakes race, or overall in every race, because you only have horses to the inside?
I'm a big fan of being on the outside.
Okay.
Because you eliminate having two horses on each side. I mean, one horse on each side, so that's a big plus. And the outside's been good here at this racetrack. Pretty much the whole track's pretty even, but I'm a fan of the outside.
Okay. Everybody tends to conquer that or look at that a little bit differently, but you would think with no traffic to one side you prefer it. Now, the negative, of course, if your horse decides there's a lot of room to my right, I'm going to break out to the outside rail.
Yes, that can happen. It's happened to me before. The outside has got me beat, because of that. Sometimes they try to break out. But most of the times as a rider, you kind of try to expect it and be ready for it so it won't happen.
And try to keep them with the rest of the herd as you come down to 400 yards. All right, now you're having a good season on horseback, but you need to brag a little bit. You're doing pretty well on another type of back, a feathery back. You won the Ostrich race on Extreme Racing Sunday, not for the first time, but for the second year in a row. Talk about that experience a little bit, because it's 110 yards. You're used to riding horses, but that's completely different.
Yeah, like you said, experience. The first time I rode an Ostrich race was at Lone Star Park. I didn't make the finish line. I went about 30, 40 yards, fell off. But then I got the opportunity to ride one last year, and I kind of knew a little bit more how to hold on, and I win last year and win it this year, so it was fun.
Now, there's no saddle. You just kind of get on their back somehow or another. Are you hanging onto their neck or right around just above their wings? I mean, how do you balance and control, if there is control, on an ostrich?
Well, they got a little pad, probably the size of a plate, and it has two deals so you can hold on, and kind of two handles, and it's wrapped around their wings. So that's pretty much it. Just kind of hold on and kind of balance yourself from not going too far forward and not too far back. So, like I said, that was the third time I got to ride one, so I think the experience helped me.
Now, we saw the zebra races earlier. Those little guys came out of the gates, and almost every one of them started to buck or try to get rid of the jockeys. The ostriches don't really buck, but they can throw you by just staggering their steps and maybe taking a side step or a twirl.
Yes, sir. It's kind of like sitting on a ball. They're just perfectly round, so you got to stay right in the middle of it, because any direction you'll just roll right off.
Now, you won it. Yours was not the ostrich that ran off and ran away, was it?
I believe it was.
It was it? Okay.
It was.
Well, see, that's a good sign. You had the one that wanted to run.
Yeah, that's very true.
He almost made it over the railing to go to the zoo, but it's really a lot of fun. And so, is there bragging rights in the room? I mean, the guys that get to ride these races with the different animals is a big deal.
When I went in there into the jockey room, I kind of bragged about it. I told them I was the Ostrich champion, so now they want to beat me on it. I was really wanting to ride a zebra, but we kind of put our names in a hat and try to draw for it. Picked. So next year I'm going to try for the zebra. Hopefully I can win the zebra race.
After what I saw, I would just stay away from the zebras. I think the zebras know what they want to do, and it's not run with someone on their back very far. There's a reason they're not domesticated, supposedly.
Yes.
I mean, these zebras did fairly well, though. But one guy, I can't remember who fell off, but somebody fell off.
As far as the camels, I was happy Chris Couture, when he's been trying to beat GR for years, and he finally beat GR, so that was pretty fun.
He got it done. If that race was 200 yards, it might have been a different story. He said his legs were getting a little tired by the way they have to sit on that camel hump.
He was bouncing all over it, but he got there.
It looks like a lot of work, but everybody stayed on, and no one fell off to the side. The very first year, I don't remember this. I know you weren't in the ostrich race, but we had some media celebrities out here, and as soon as they left the starting gate, the camels shimmied and they all slid off to the side. One guy made it across the finish, but literally he's hanging sideways off the horse. All right, goals for the rest of this season. There's about 20 days to go. We still have the big set of Heritage Futurity trials coming up for both the Futurity, the $1 million race, and the Derby worth over $250,000. Talk about your possibilities with the Wood Barn in those races or other trainers that you might be working with.
I hope we could win it again this year. That's one of our main goals at this racetrack. Winning the prestigious Heritage Place Futurity. We got 5 head going into it. 6. I'm sorry. We got 6 horses going into it for Trey Wood, and that's my main goal. Qualify one for Trey. That's my main barn. So hopefully we can get it done. And BP Cartels Alibi, the winner of last year's Futurity, he'll be in the Derby. Hopefully he'll put it together and qualify for the Derby.
Well, I was going to get to that. I mean, everybody remembers his winning the Heritage last year. Then he went on and he did really well over the course of the summer and then through the rest of the year for the most part. He's had 2 starts this spring, but he hasn't seemed to do what everybody, including most handicappers, think he's going to do, which is blast out of there and repeat his performance as a 2-year-old here in the Heritage Place.
Yeah, we got big expectations, because he did win the Heritage. But, we're just trying to figure him out. For some reason, he doesn't want to give us his race like he can. He's doing good, training good. We gave him an out the other day in that stakes race for Oklahoma Breds, and he run good 4th. So hopefully that set him up perfect for the trials, and, cross our fingers and hope he runs the best.
Well, maybe once the extra yardage will probably help him a little bit, too. I'm sure he's matured a little bit from 2 to 3.
Sir, and, he likes the distance, so hopefully it'll help him a bunch.
All right, Ricky Ramirez, featured jockey this week, having a very good season. He's approaching the 20-win mark. He's the Ostrich champion 2 years in a row and getting set for those big Heritage Place Futurity trials coming up next week on Mother's Day weekend as we have 2 nights of trials for that $1 million event that takes place on Saturday, June 1st. More coming up here in a moment here on the Quarter Racing Update.